Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're connecting from. You're welcome to this live session. God bless you. Thank you for joining. You're welcome to Woman Emerge for the month of May 2026. Long time, no YouTube. It's been a while that I've been online. I just hope everybody can hear me. It's been a while, so happy new month. Yes, this is a new month, the month of May. And like I put on my Facebook, I said the month of May is going to be that month that marks, the difference in our lives. So that is what we are expecting. That this month of May, when this year started, a lot of us started with a lot of hopes, a lot of dreams, a lot of goals written down, and we've done one quarter of the year already. We've done, in fact, more than one quarter. We've done 4 months already. And if a lot of us are sincere with ourselves, you see that most of those goals we've written down, we've not really gone far. So the month of May is going to be that month that begins to mark the shift, yes, from just having those things written down to actually seeing them being manifested. Yeah, so May is the month that will mark the difference in our lives, and that is how it's going to be for us in Jesus' name. All right, please help me share the link to this conversation. You can share on your Facebook story, your WhatsApp status, your Instagram, on your social media basically. Just help me share the link so that we have more people joining this meeting tonight, more people on the conversation. The more, the merrier. Yeah, please help me share the link. Just before I begin to talk about what we want to talk about tonight, I must confess, see, consistency is hard. Consistency is hard. I'm not even going to lie. I'm not even going to pretend. To be consistent is hard. But then, like I put on my what's it called now? My Facebook this morning. Um, I wrote about consistency. Let me just rephrase. I think when we talk about consistency, there are two types of consistencies actually. One is, the consistency of, showing up back to back, this unbroken record, unbroken streak. Like I have this app called You Bible, right? I just hope everybody can hear me. I have this app called You Bible, or is it You Version Bible? Yeah, that's the name of the app. And for your Bible reading daily, the app helps you to keep a score of how often you have been coming every day to do your Bible reading. All right, so there's this streak somewhere. If you go in today, it marks the attendance that you showed up today and you read your Bible, right? You come tomorrow, it marks the attendance. So you just see the attendance, keeps increasing. The more you read your Bible, the more you visit the app, it just marks your attendance. So I go in there for 13 days, 15 days, a month. I see the results, it keeps increasing, and then I remember on one particular occasion, I didn't show up for Bible reading. I think maybe I forgot that day or I was so busy. I don't know, but I didn't show up for my Bible reading. I already got into about a streak of probably 50 something days, right? And so just that one day that I skipped, by the time I went back to, on that app to take a look, to just, yes, to read my Bible, I saw that my streak of 50 something or 60 something consistent days that I've been showing up, I saw that that record was wiped off. So I had to start again from zero. I was so weak. Now, the goal, you know, I was going there to read my Bible. Please stay with me. Bible reading, that was the goal. But because of that unbroken record, I was so happy, I was so motivated. But the moment that unbroken record, moved back to zero because I skipped a day, I was shattered. Mentally, I gave up. I was like, all of that record just wiped. What am I trying to say? I think there are two kinds of consistencies. So the first consistency is, that back to back, showing up daily, not missing anything at all, that kind of consistency. And that's the consistency that we talk about. That's the consistency that a lot of us want to meet up with. We want to be able to model, we want to be able to live out that kind of consistency. I show up every day, I don't skip a day, I don't, that kind of consistency. But then I think there is another kind of consistency, and that's the consistency we don't really talk about enough. What's that consistency? This second kind of consistency is, being courageous enough to continue from where you left off after you went for a break, after you skipped a few times. I don't know if you get me. Yeah, so you want to do your Bible reading back to back every day, but then you skipped a day, you skipped 2 days, you skipped 1 week. Mentally, it looks like I'm failing. Mentally, it looks like am I being serious with my life right now? And so because you are not being consistent, that first kind of consistent back to back, there's that tendency to give up, to say, okay, I can't meet up, right? But then that second kind of consistency is what makes you pick up. This is you having not read your Bible for 2 weeks. This is you having not prayed or observed your quiet time for 4 days. You picking up and saying, okay, I want to continue from where I stopped, irrespective of having failed, having quit, you still want to continue. That's a second kind of consistency. That is also consistency. That's the point I want to make. I haven't showed up here for probably a month, and now I'm here. Somebody will not say, oh, because I didn't show up for a month, I'm unserious, I'm not consistent. Well, maybe, but I'm here now. That's the most important thing. I'm choosing to continue from where I stopped. So I just want to encourage everybody out there, in case you're trying to build something, you're working on your personal growth, your personal development. Hello, Benedict. Thank you for joining. Can you hear me? I just want that feedback. I'm always used to holding my mic like this because I have insecurities with that mic. So can you hear me? Just give me that feedback so I can continue. Can you hear me? Okay, great. Yes, I have trust issues. When I'm not holding the mic like this, it's as if nobody is hearing me well. If you say you can hear me, no wahala. So yes, I just want to encourage everyone out there. In case you have begun a journey and you desire to be consistent on that journey, and for one reason or the other, you're not consistent. You missed a day, you missed 2 days, you missed a week, whatever duration, and you are finding it hard to pick up. Please pick up. Showing up after you have skipped a few days is also consistency. Why? Because you are refusing to just give up totally, right? So I just wanted to put that out there. All right. So, like I said, please help me share the link. If you've done that, I think we can proceed. So, tonight we're talking about Archizo. Yeah, Archizo. So, what does Archizo mean? What does Archizo mean? Please, oh. There was one video that was trending, I think last year. That was Pastor Toby. She's the wife of Pastor Matthew Ashimolo's son. Yeah. When she said she was called to preach, and then she was like, this is not about any Greek or Hebrew kind of preaching. I'm just here to give a word of encouragement. So please let me put this, should I call it a disclaimer? This one that I'm putting out a Greek word, please bear with me. All right. It's just a word of encouragement. Yeah. So Archizo, what does Archizo mean? It's a Greek word to begin with. Archizo is a Greek word and it means to begin, to start, to initiate something, to set something in motion. So basically, Archizo just means to begin, to start something. That's it. Yeah. But there's a particular definition I love, talking about Archizo. I want to read it out to you. It says, Akizo is, or Akizo marks that moment when action replaces intention. I hope you got that. Akizo marks that moment when action replaces intention. You see, intention is in your head, is in your mind, right? But you need action to be able to transform your intention. You need action to be able to transform what is in your head and make it in your hand. When I say in your hand now, I mean like, in reality. Yeah. So Akizo is you taking action to carry your intentions from your mind and then to make them become a reality, to start, to initiate. A lot of people have good intentions. But you see, because as long as that thing remains in your head, it will never come out and be in your hands. It will never be a reality. It will never manifest. You will not see, the physical manifestation of it. It will not be tangible. It will just be in your head. Let me read the scripture to you. And that scripture is in Proverbs 14, verse 23. Proverbs 14:23. I think this is a good news translation. It says, all hard work brings profits, but mere talk only leads to poverty. It's not me, oh, it's Bible. Yes. Bible says all hard work, that is putting in effort, brings profits, brings results, brings productivity. It says, but mere talk only leads to poverty. Nothing is going to happen so long as you're just talking. I intend to do this. I wish to do this. I desire to do this. I want to do this. I need to do this. So long as all you do is just to talk. Talk is cheap, right? I know that's a very cliche thing to say, but talk is really cheap. If we are just going to talk and talk and talk and talk, you're not going to do anything. Nothing is going to work, right? So this is what we are looking at today. Okay, Isaac says, I am deaf. Oh my. Okay, what you can do, Isaac, probably after this live, because it's being recorded, right? And so it's going to be saved on this channel. You can replay it and then turn on the captions so that you can read. All right. I don't know sign language. I would have done that for you. So apologies. All right. But just flow in whatever way you can. Yeah. So, yes, just to put that out there, Akizo marks the moment when you take action, when action replaces intention. It is action that transforms your intention into a tangible reality. You see, in this generation right now, I don't know, but we are having a lot of audio results. When I say audio results, like these results, they are just, how do I want to put it? We have social media results. Let me put it like that, especially with this advent of AI now. Ehen. Social media results where your page looks good. I mean, if somebody should judge from your page, you are living a very successful life, you're living a very productive life. But in reality, you see that audio results is just online that is very colorful. Is your life that colorful? Do you have, that much results? Yeah. So that's why we want to look at this. And there's another aspect to this where a lot of people they're not really living out their purpose. Yeah, they're just being comfortable. We'll get to that. Let me not get ahead of myself. But then just have this at the back of your mind. The meaning of Akizo is the moment when action replaces intention. The moment your action transforms the intention that's in your head to results in your hands. Yeah. Now, when you see someone, like I just said, a lot of people are not living purposeful lives. They're not really doing anything with their lives. Let me put it like that. Yeah, they've not begun anything, nothing. They're just there. Now, when you see someone who has not begun anything meaningful with their lives, they usually fall into two categories. So, category number one, we have those people who know what they want to do with their lives but have not started doing it. If you see somebody right now and you know that this one is not really doing anything with their life, we are saying that this person can either be in any of these categories. Category number one, this person knows what they want to do with their lives, or with their life rather, but they have not started doing it. So they know, but they are not doing, right? And then the second category, which is the worst category, these people, they don't know what to do. They don't have an idea of what they want to do with their lives, with their time, with their skills, with their opportunities, with anything, with their talent. They don't know what they want to do with their, they are clueless, right? Now, both categories of people either fall into any of these categories. Both categories of people, the truth is they are stuck. They are not moving, they are not making progress, they are not productive, they are stuck, right? But for different reasons. One category, they know in their mind what they want to do, but they are not doing it. The other category of people, they have no clue about what they want to do. Yeah, so let's talk about these two categories of people. Now, category number one, I'll start with those who do not know what they want to do with their lives. They have no idea what their purpose is, they have no idea what, nothing. For these people, it is not that they have refused to take action. Their problem is that they do not have a direction, right? It is somebody that has a destination that goes to the park and says, okay, let me board a vehicle to Lagos. They have a destination. So they now take action to be able to make it to that destination. But then if you have somebody that doesn't have a destination, they're not going to go anywhere. They're just going to stay in their houses, and sit down. They're not going to do anything, right? So this is the category of people. These people, it's not an action problem or an action problem rather. It's a direction problem. They don't know where they are going. I saw this clip one time. There was this popular philanthropist, who went on this, should I call it a journey? He just went around, he wanted to help people. I mean, we see all those kind of things on social media a lot. Yeah, philanthropists, they just want to help people. It's a tough time, it's a tough season, it's a really trying season to be a Nigerian. Yeah, I said it. And so he saw this woman that was hawking. What he was doing was that he was going around, asking people, okay, what's your business plan? What are your goals? How do I help you? That was the goal. That was what he was doing. And so he got on the streets and he saw this woman hawking, and then they had a conversation where he was asking the woman, so what do you want to do? What's your business plan? How do I help you? Where can I come through for you? This woman did not really have any tangible thing to say. Like, it's not that she didn't say anything, but the things she said, they were not really impressing this philanthropist. The things she said did not look like she had sat down before now to think of, how to make her life better. She couldn't really say anything. And this is the case of so many people. If you ask somebody right now, just go on the street, ask an average person, okay, what do you want to do? What do you want to do with your life? They're going to tell you, oh, go to school, or don't tell you, I'll get a job. Um, I want to make money. I want to further my studies. I want to live a comfortable life. I want to be able to pay my bills. I want to be able, if I give you money now, that's a philanthropist talk. If I give you money now, what will you do with it? Oh, they want to get an accommodation. And of course, all of these needs, they are not bad needs, they are valid needs, right? But then, if you categorize all of these needs that these people have, you know, it all boils down to two things: existence and survival. Yeah, I want to get a job, I want to get a car, I want to get the house, I want to do this one, I want to do that one. To what end? They just want to exist, they just want to survive. You know, it's like these people, they are eating to live, living to work, working to eat, eating to live. It's a cycle, very pointless cycle. I'm talking about people that are just existing and surviving. That's their game plan for life. They don't have any other plan outside living, as existing rather, and surviving. Survival, that's the goal. When they wake up in the morning, how do I make it today? How do I make it through today? How do I, eat today? How do I just live, just exist today? That's the goal. They're not thinking long term, they're not thinking future plans, nothing like that. Their main goal is just how to exist and how to survive. And like I said, it's not as if this survival, right now in Nigeria, if I saw one post, or is it a quote, he said, if all you did was survive today, you don't try, which is good, which is motivational. But then let's be realistic. Life is more than survival. right? Now, beyond our existence, beyond our survival, we must be able to think of four major things that our lives are about. Number one, our lives are about growth. Our lives are about growth. Here, Benedict, that's it. Oh, that's the game plan. How I go take survive. As we don't enter new months now, May, I'm already calculating. How do I survive? How do I share this bag of rice so that to reach this month? You know. And let me just pause to say this, or let me digress a bit. It's getting tougher. If I'm going to be honest, it's getting really tough and tougher, you know, for people to focus on their dreams. Right now, people are just focused on survival. That's the truth. A lot of people, they have kept dreams, they have kept passion aside. How I go take survive? How I go take feed my family? That's their goal. You know, they are working two, three jobs just to make ends meet. They hardly have time for God. All this quiet time, prayer life. How they go take survive? You go in the morning, if you're staying in a place like Lagos, for instance, I mean, then your home is on the mainland, and then your work is on the island. Just getting through from mainland to island and then coming back home. That's an adventure on its own. Hey, what am I trying to say? A lot of people right now, survival mode. That's the truth. They're just living in survival mode. You wake up in the morning, what do I eat? They're not thinking of any is well. So, but I'm saying that beyond survival, our life should be about number one, growth. And what is growth about? Becoming better. Better in your character, better in your capacity, better in your wisdom, better in your discipline, right? Life is about growth. So if somebody is asking you, what are you doing with your life right now? There should be a response that points towards that you want to grow. Yeah. Number two, life is also about purpose. Purpose is the reason why you exist. When we talk about purpose, we are asking you, what are the problems that you are created to solve? Yeah. What is the difference that your life is making in the world? You know, it is purpose that gives meaning to living. It is purpose that makes your living not just existence and not just survival. Purpose is what gives your life color. Without purpose, your life is just like black and white TV. Yeah. But purpose gives your life meaning. Purpose gives your life direction. Yeah. So purpose is why we exist. Beyond survival, beyond existence, we will be able to point to, this is my life's purpose. This is why I'm alive. This is why I'm here. This is the thing that I was created to do. Purpose. Number three, impact. Our lives should also be about impact. Remember, we are looking at the category of people that don't know what they want to do with their lives. We're trying to point them towards what they should be doing with their lives. We've talked about growth. You need to grow. We talked about purpose. You need to know your purpose. Number three, I'm saying impact. Impact is the evidence that your life is not just about you. Who is your life touching? Who is getting blessed, enlightened, educated, equipped, empowered just because you are living out your purpose? Who are you touching with your purpose, with your assignments? That's impact, right? Your service to humanity, your contribution to the world. That's impact. Your life must be about impact, not just survival and not just existing. And then number four, your life must also be about legacy. When we talk about legacy, it's not just what you leave behind. Your legacy is also what continues after you have left the world. What continues to speak even when you are no longer here. Yeah, what continues. And when we talk about legacy, we're talking about people you have raised. When we say raised, either raised as parents, raised as guardians, raised as mentors, raised as leaders, people you have raised. you know, After you are gone, those people are here. They are here as testaments that you lived. We're talking about legacy. Your life must also be about legacy. We're talking about lives that you have transformed, systems you have built, values you have modeled, values you have upheld. So your life must be about these four things. In case you are listening to me, you're somebody that feels like your life doesn't have a direction, your life doesn't have a purpose. Please, these four things, start working on them. Growth. What are you doing right now to grow? Yes. Number two, purpose. Number three, impact. Purpose is a wide topic. I don't want to jump into it, just so I don't make this life too long. And then legacy. Yeah. Now let's move to the category of people that know what they want to do, but they have not begun to do the things they want to do. So many people are full of dreams, ideas, visions, callings, purpose, ambition, but yet they are stuck in one place. It is not that they lack potential, it is not that they are lazy. They can do what they know they should do. They can do it. So they have capacity. But then there are things that are holding them back. Yeah. And then let me just put it here. For some people, there are things that are holding them back against their wish. You know that TikTok sound that say, "Are you in support?" Say, I'm not in support, it is my wish. So there are people that certain things are holding them back against their wish. Against their wish means that they are doing everything that they can to succeed. They are putting in effort, they are trying to make it, but there are just some factors that are not aligned in their favor. So it looks as if all their efforts are wasted. They are hitting a resistance, a barrier, they're not able to proceed, move forward, right? So there are people, they know what they should do, but they have not begun to start, they are not living out their purpose. They are not really living a life of impact. They're not growing and all of that. Not because they don't desire, not because they are not putting in some measure of effort, but it's against their wish. Something is holding them back against their desire. And then there are some people, oh, it is not that it is their wish to remain where they are. They are the ones allowing things to hold them back. Yes, and these are the kinds of things I want to talk about. What are those things that you have allowed to hold you back? Because at the end of the day, see, your excuse for not being successful is somebody else's motivation for being successful. Yeah. Hey, I don't have a father. Hey, I'm a this. I'm an orphan. There's somebody out there. Their motivation, it's not their depression. It's not their pity me story. No, they have turned that pain into motivation why they need to succeed. Yeah. So your excuse is somebody else's motivation. Mm. So there are a lot of people, they are the ones allowing things to hold them back. They can actually break through these things and succeed, but they are the ones that are allowing these things to hold them. So, what are some of these things that people allow to hold them back? Number one thing is this holding back. It actually has to do a lot with the mindset. Yes. Now, there are people who, I'll be honest with you, what is holding them back is not mindset, it's money. There was this statement my brother made one time. I don't know, we're talking about something, and then he started talking about how sometimes you have great ideas, but then there's nobody to really sponsor you, there's nobody to contribute and help you, realize those dreams and all of that. And then he made a statement. He said 1,000 advice, zero support. But really, that thing is true. There are people that when they come to you, eh, their problem is not advice. Like we said, these people know what to do. They don't just have the means to do what they want to do. See, it gets some kind problem. Let me bring the worry out a little bit. It gets some kind problem, eh? Not be advice to solve that problem. Now money. Yes, so. But you see, a lot of times people are frustrated because when they come to you for help, tangible help, monetary help, help in cash, you are there giving them 2 hours of advice. I beg, no use advice, they address waiting money go solve. So that's by the way, right? But I'm saying that if you also check it, for a lot of people too, the limitation is not really about money, it's a mindset thing. Yes, because if you are able to conquer that mindset, I saw a post that was 2 weeks ago. This guy was saying how he was earning how much, working in Lagos, he was earning a certain amount, but in 4 months, he was able to relocate abroad. And then, he was talking about how he was able to do it. He got a side gig, like a side hustle, like, of course, online job. Online job now, they pay, make I just tell you now. online job, a remote job, that was able to augment his salary. And in 4 months, he planned his relocation. He has jackpot. What am I trying to say? Mindset. If you keep looking at that, your salary of 30,000, you will not do anything. So it's more of a mindset thing. Yeah. And we want to look at some of these mindsets that people allow to hold them back. So there's the mindset of fear. A lot of people are afraid. That's what is holding them back. That's what is not making them to Archizo or Archizo. That is what is holding them back from beginning. Fear. What are these fears? Number one, the fear of failure. What if this thing does not work? What if it fails? They have this grand idea for a business, for a company, for an agency, for something, for a ministry. But what if it fails? The fear of failure. Number two, the fear of not being good enough. These kinds of things, all these what's it called? Let me give an example. Coaching. Who will listen to me? I'm a coach. Coaching who? Who am I coaching? People like me don't do things like this. That's a mindset. The mindset of feeling that you are not good enough. Number three, the fear of being seen. There are a lot of people that they don't ever want to have anything to do with being at the forefront. They are okay in the background. Those are the kind of people that will tell you, don't ask me to lead anything, no, just ask me to be, I'm in supporters club. And of course, we will not all be chairmen, chairwomen, we will not all be CEOs. Some of us are really great at just being, in the background of things. A lot of us are great at being supporters, at being pillars. The pillars of a house, they hold the house. They are not obvious like the gates and the door and the fancy windows. But I'm telling you, the pillars are like the most important. If those pillars crumble, everything is going down. That's why Samson went and held the pillars and everything came crashing down, right? So there are people who are all right being in the background. But then there are some people in the background that are actually meant to be at the forefront. They're actually meant to lead, but they are hiding. Why? Because they are afraid. They are claiming, oh, I'm so humble, I'm so quiet. It's a lie. You're afraid. The fear of being seen. And of course, somebody who is afraid to be seen is because they have an underlying fear of being judged. That's another fear. The fear of being judged, the fear of being criticized. What will people say? If I start this thing now, what will people think? What will people do? What will people say? What will people think? What will people do? This is a mindset that has helped people back from beginning great things, great businesses, great ministries, great relationships that they should begin. They say no. They no one make anybody judge them. So the fear of being judged, right? Number five, the fear of getting it wrong. The fear of getting it wrong. There's something I'm currently learning, right? And so when the person was teaching me, that was about, I think, last month or 3 weeks ago, thereabout. When the person was teaching me, and then, she would do something, I'll try to replicate. She told me, she said, when she was learning, that the person that was teaching her made a statement and told her that, look, as long as you are learning this thing, you are going to make a lot of mistakes. Yeah, that's what the person told her that. See, that thing where you dey fear say go happen. Because the way she was handling the stuff, hey, let me not go and cut it and miss. Hey, let me not go and make mistake. Hey, let me not go and the person just looked at her and told her that look, things will spoil in your hands. You will make these mistakes. What am I trying to say? Nothing really starts out perfect. You make a lot of mistakes before you arrive at perfection. You see, but a lot of people, they are afraid of mistakes. They are afraid of getting it wrong. So that mentality, that mindset holds them back from actually beginning. Also, number six, the fear of being labeled as a copycat. Hmm. There are a lot of people right now. You see this YouTube channel I'm doing, they are so inspired by it. I just like the way Sophia does her Monday night live. I just like the way she writes and posts. They like it. They want to also do it. But guess what? They are not doing it. Why? Because they say, everybody will not say, it's because Sophia started it. That's why I went to start my own. Yeah, I'm telling you. And it's because she has YouTube channel. They'll not say, me too. I went to do my own. Or some of them will even say, the Sophia herself. Me too. I will now be, they are afraid that I will come out and say, you are copying me. The fear of being labeled as a copycat. That's a mindset that is also holding some people back. Ah, if I start this thing now, they say it's because my friend started it. That's why I've started my own. Let me shock you. The people you are afraid to copy. This dog. Mm, oh my God. The people you are afraid to copy are actually copying other people. Yeah, yeah. You see me come on here and do all the things I do. I have people that I copy in quotes. When I say copy, there are people that inspire me. There are people's YouTube channels, Facebook profiles that I go to and I say, oh more, let me learn from this. Thank God for AI. You can take a person's profile now and say, oh, optimize this for me. This person, maybe their field is what's it called now? Tech. And you like the way they put their bio, you like the way they put their profile, right? You can just copy that, put it in ChatGPT and say, okay, can you try to make my bio look like this? But because I'm a relationship counselor, you have to change some words. It will do it for you. What am I trying to say? The fear of being labeled as a copycat. I'm telling you that the people you are afraid to copy are actually copying other people. And you are there saying, no, I don't want to start YouTube channel. I don't want to start my own page. I don't want to open TikTok account. So that people will not say I'm copying somebody. Say you are copying somebody. There is nothing new under the sun. It's in the Bible. Nothing new under the sun. If anything comes out now and it looks like it is new, check it. There's always a precedent. There's always, some foundation that somebody else has laid. That person is just simply improving on it. If you study science, you see that the person that discovered, I'm giving an example now, probably the person that discovered electricity, you know, they always tell you that somebody tried something, you know, in the past that, but the person could not complete it. The person got to a particular place and stopped. And then this person picked up from that place. This person had to dwell on their formulas. This person had to go back to reference their materials to be able to improve on that idea. So you are there. The fear that is in your mind now is, I cannot do this thing because I don't want people to label me as a copycat. That's like saying that you too, you don't want to sell tomato because there are a lot of tomato sellers in the market. You have your audience. You have the people that you are sent to. See, everybody is preaching the gospel, right? But see, there is the gospel from your own mouth. It doesn't sound like the gospel from somebody else's mouth. There are ears that are called to you. There are eyes that have not seen you. There are people that, even though maybe their hearts are very hard, you know, there is something there is this unique grace that God has given to you that they will listen if you are the one doing it. And it doesn't have anything to do with you, it's just the gift of God. So, this, I'm afraid people will say I'm copying, copy them. Imitation, sometimes it's a limitation. If you really don't know how to do something and you are looking at people, sometimes because you are learning from them, you may begin by, looking like them, sounding like them. But I promise you, if you continue in that journey, you will get to a point where you begin to find your own unique self, your authentic self, right? So don't let this mindset limit you. It's a mindset that limits a lot of people. I can't do this thing because they will say I'm copying somebody. Copy them. Them too. They are copying other people. Please don't forget what I said tonight. The people you are afraid to copy are copying other people. So copy them. Paul said, follow me as I follow Christ. So the fear of being labeled as a copycat, that's another fear that holds people back from Archizoing from beginning. Fear of being limited to one thing, that's another fear that holds people back. Now, this applies to people who are multi talented. They are skilled, they are gifted in so many areas. Somebody like me now, I can write, I can sing, I can beat, I can crochet, I can do a lot of things. I can bake. At the end of the day, when you now sit down and say, okay, what do I want to do? The moment you say, okay, I want to pursue baking, all your other passions are pulling at you and saying, no. So you mean I will give up drawing because I write? Or should I give up writing? Should I, at the end of the day, your head is full, you're overwhelmed with thoughts. This is one of the struggles of multi talented, multi gifted, multi skilled people. The confusion or The confusion of not knowing which to forego and which to embrace, right? And the fear of being limited to just one thing. You know in your mind that you are this multi-dimensional person. You want the world to feel and see all the colors that you have, all of the gifts that you have. So it scares you that only one thing defines you. I'm telling you, this is the reality for a lot of people. That's the fear holding them back. So you mean I can do 20 things, but I have to just niche down, especially in this time of social media. They say find your niche. So I'll just stick to one niche when I can do a lot. The fear of being limited to just one thing. It's another fear holding people back from starting because they are always asking themselves, so which one do I do? The fear of responsibility and commitment. When you start anything, there are going to be commitments. For instance, it's a commitment, me being here tonight. I'm telling you all the factors to be online tonight. They did not align. No. I had two meetings that came up 8 p.m., 8 p.m. I had to do 20 minutes for the first meeting. I had to beg, come out of that meeting, join another meeting, beg in that second meeting so I can come here. So a lot of people right now, because you're not doing anything major, you're just sleeping in your house, enjoying yourself. But you know that the moment you have something that you do, for instance, before I started Monday Night Lives, my Mondays were very free. When it's Monday by 8, by 9, I sleep, I do whatever I want to do. But now that I've started Monday Night Lives, it means my Mondays are now sacrifices, right? So the fear, that's that fear of, hey, I will not have chance again. The fear of commitment, the fear of responsibility is also one of the fears that keeps people. Okay, the mic is still on. God, don't worry. We will ball. I'll get a new mic, new stuff. Don't worry. So the fear of responsibility and commitment is also a fear that keeps people back, holding them back from beginning. And then also the fear of success. I'm telling you, a lot of people are scared of success. Hey, now that nobody knows me, I'm living my life JJ. But the moment I become somebody, hey, I will not have enemies. I will not have competitors. I will not do this one. A lot of people are scared of success. Some are scared of success because, like I said, they are scared of failure. So they feel that, oh, if I succeed, if I go to the top, anything can happen. I will crash down. It's better for me to just be here, down, than to go up and come. Fear of success. And because you don't admit that you have fears, it leads to another thing, excuses. Excuses are another category of things that keeps people down, holds people back, stops them from beginning any great thing they want to do. Excuses. You keep saying things like, I'm not ready, I'm still preparing, I don't want to rush, I'm taking my time, I'm waiting for the right time, I don't have enough to start, I cannot meet up. Then some people want to sound very spiritual about their laziness. You say, I'm still praying about it. Yes. Jesus said to count the cost. I'm still counting the costs. Now lie. You're just making excuses. I saw a quote one time. It says, when you really want to do something, you find a way. When you don't really want to do it, you find an excuse. So yes, some people have valid reasons why they cannot do something. But if you check most of the time, if you zoom in, a lot of excuses are just reasons why people don't want to do things, either because they are afraid, right? That's just it. So excuses, that's another thing that holds people back. I remember when I started this YouTube channel, I didn't have, I started with voiceovers, that's what you call a faceless channel now. So what I used to do then, I had this app called PixArt. It's a graphic, yes, where you can design. So I would design some slides and all of that, and then put it on KineMaster, and then as the slides are moving, or rather I'll do a voiceover, yes, where I'm talking about relationship, I'm talking about stuff like that, and then I'll design slides so that the moment I talk about one thing, that slide comes up. That's what I was doing. It was work for me to put out one video. I used to upload then every Saturday or so. For me to put out one video, hey, I'll do voiceover, I'll not edit, I'll not design, I'll not do this. What am I trying to say? I could have made that excuse and say, I don't have a good camera, I don't have iPhone, I don't have light, I don't have mic, I don't have this one. I started without mic, without light, without nothing, just my phone. The time I was to transit from, faceless to face, it was a big break for me. I was so excited. Now imagine if I said I don't have, I don't have, I don't have. Probably I would not have had this channel, right? So excuses, that's one of the things that holds people back. And then also pride. Pride holds people back. I'm going to round up here because of the time. In our next live session, we're going to talk about how to overcome all of these things I've mentioned, the fears, the excuses, and then the pride I'm about to talk about. We're going to, address how we overcome these things so we can begin, so we can emerge. So I'm going to round up here. Pride is another thing that holds people back. Now, let me explain the kind of pride I'm talking about. You see, a lot of people are not afraid to start. It's not fear. A lot of people, it's not that, how do I put it now? They're not afraid to start, right? But this is their problem. They don't want to start small. Yeah, they don't want to start small. Let me use ministry as an example because it's very relatable. So, you want to begin a ministry, you want to start a church, for instance. And right now, what you can conveniently, comfortably afford is a small space, maybe a one room apartment or what have you, right? But then you are waiting till you have the money to build a 1,000 seating capacity auditorium before you Archizo, before you begin. Why? You don't want to start small. Mm? Now, a lot of people will say, you know, what's this word? Excellence. A lot of people say, look, I like my things to be excellent. I don't like doing anyhow things. I don't see a lot of things that we call the desire for excellence is actually pride. If you check it, it's actually pride because the truth about excellence is that excellence grows too. Some of us, you want to start ministry, but you want to start it, your eye is on somebody like Pastor Jerry Eze. Mm, you want to start forgetting that Pastor Jerry Eze started. Pastor Jerry has throwback. Oh, he has throwback pictures. Go and look at them. He has history. He has past. He has track record. When he started, nobody knew him. Nothing was. Go and look at the throwback. The problem is that you are comparing your now to Pastor Jerry's now. So he has a big ministry now. You that God has called to begin to Archizo, you don't want to start. Why? I don't want to start small. You are comparing your now to Pastor Jerry Eze's now. Ha! Forgetting that his own now, it has a back then. I don't know if you're getting me. So a lot of people they will hide behind I like excellence. The thing is that you don't want to start small. It's an ego thing. It's a pride thing. There is no great thing that starts out being great. No great thing starts out great. No big thing starts out big. When you conceive, you're pregnant. I remember the first time I was pregnant when I went for a scan. That's the dating scan for them to know, oh, how old is the fetus? When is your date of delivery going to be? Blah, 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 blah. When I saw, in the scan will tell you the weight of the baby and so many other details. The weight of the baby was something, I don't know, grams. I'm not too good with mathematics, but then the scan showed at some point it was 125 grams. 125 grams. I didn't know how to estimate. The mind thinks in pictures. When you mention something, your mind begins to think in pictures. So when I saw 125 grams, I started to think to myself, what estimate is that? What can I? And so when I came home, I started to look through my stuff in the house, things that were labeled, with their correct, with their, what's it called, the weight or the mass or whatever. I started to look, and I saw that 125 grams was a sachet of something. I said, so this is the size of my baby inside me. This thing, this is the weight of the baby. 125 grams. But that 125 grams just turned 1 year old in March. What am I trying to say? Nothing big starts big. Nothing great starts great. Nothing perfect today started out perfect. I'll close with this quote. Somebody said, start first and then make it perfect later. Make that thing exist first. See, you cannot perfect what does not first exist. A lot of us, we don't want to start small. That's our problem. Start with what you have, start where you are, do what you can, use the things that are available. Yeah. So these are some of the things we're going to be looking at in our next live session. I'm going to round up here. We've looked at a lot of things that hold people back from beginning. We said Archizo means to begin, to start, to initiate something. And we said Archizo marks the moment where action, or rather your intention, you add action to your intention so that you can have results, right? And so we have come to the end of this live. I hope you have been blessed. I hope you learned a thing or two. My battery is so low. I would have wanted us to the what's it called, lose this whole session. Yeah, but then please see. So I'll see you in my next live session. Stop comparing your now to all those big names you see. You're comparing your now to their now. Now lie you. Go and see their throwback videos and see where they started from. There was a time I was feeling so bad about my progress. When I say progress, like my online progress, I was looking at my page, I was like, what's going on? I'm not really seeing engagement, I'm not seeing followers. Now, most of us, especially if you are doing ministry, we just tell ourselves, it's not about the likes, it's not about the followers. We are not doing this thing. Our focus is the kingdom. Really, truly, genuinely, our focus is the kingdom. But let's not lie. Engagement encourages us. If I come online now and see, oh, I made a post and then 575 people engage that post, oh my, I'm going to be encouraged. Yeah, I'm still a human being, oh, I'm not a spirit. I'll be motivated to put out another, you know. And so one time I was feeling so bad about my progress. I was like, I'll post something, I'll be seeing 5 likes, 2 views. What's this? I was feeling bad. And then I'll look at, some other pages of these big names, right? I'll be like, oh no, what's this person doing differently that I'm not doing? I'll be seeing thousands of followers, thousands of engagements. I had to have a conference meeting with myself one day. And that was when I discovered that I was making the mistake of comparing myself to these people. See, a lot of us are comparing ourselves on even grounds. Let me make an example. Take somebody like Vicky James. You go to her social media now, see her following, see her engagement, see all of that. Vicky James has a media team. There's somebody to film, there's somebody to edit, there's a social media manager, there's a graphic designer. Compare that with me. I'm a one-man army. I'm the one that scripts whatever I want to do for my videos. Then I record my videos. Then I edit my videos. Then I design flyers on Canva. Then I create captions. Then I post. All of these things. I reply comments. I check my inbox. I'm comparing myself to somebody that has a media team. All they need to do is just sit down and record the video, stand up. A team will handle that thing from editing down to the final cut before they post. I'm comparing myself to that. Give yourself a break. When I got that realization, I had to pat myself on the back and say, babe, you did try. Some of us are comparing ourselves on even grounds, comparing your now to that big name's now. No, go and look at where that big name started from. You see that it was not easy too. So I'm going to stop here. I'll see you in my next live. Bye.